The one thing about problem and solutions and focusing on solutions 90% of your time, you've got to make sure that you're focusing on the right problem to solve. One of the things that we are dealing with in the Department of Education at the moment is these new mandated hour-long meeting times for teams. Now, it's easy to go into that and look at how do we change our structure of our organization? How do we change our structure of our meetings? When are we meeting? How are we meeting? And review that entire process, which is fantastic. We need to do that because there is too many meetings in schools. However, there's one more important thing that we've just looked at. I've just spent a bit of time over the last few hours diving in with Claude AI to help unpack the actual situation, because prior to that, we had an executive meeting and we spent basically 40 minutes-ish with our entire executive team. So that's 20 head teachers, deputy principals, principal, to review this. What structural changes can we make? What things can we considering like, part-time people, people in multiple teams, because you can only have 1 hour of team meeting per week. That's including staff meetings, well-being meetings, professional learning meetings, those kind of things. And we spent all this time focusing on the solutions to fit for the problem of we can only have one meeting. And I asked the question the other day, it was like, well, how many people are in multiple teams? And we didn't have that data yet. So I spent a bit of time today going through and analyzing how many people are in the teams, how many of those are executive, how many of those are senior executive, and then breaking it down from there. And the crazy thing is we've been focusing on the wrong solutions. To a degree. We've got 100 teaching staff in the school, collective of senior executive, and all the teachers. Only 36% or 36 of those 100 are in one team. And of those 36, only 12 are in multiple teams. And of those 12, only 6 of them are teachers or staff members that aren't senior executive. So we're trying to change our entire team structure for 6 people out of 100. So focus on the right problem to solve, not the wrong one that assumed we need to solve. So going forward, what we're doing is there's a key component in that, and it's through negotiation, because those teams that I'm talking about don't include federation, don't include health safety, and they don't include executive meetings, but all the rest of them are counted within that 1 hour. But there is a caveat to that, and it's stipulated in the document that we are mandated to follow. And it's through negotiation. Thorough negotiation. You can't run it if one person doesn't want to, and you can't manipulate the situation to make them feel sort of morally obligated to come and participate in that team. However, you can have a conversation, a vulnerable leadership conversation of what are you solely trying to get out of this team? What is your contribution? What are your best hopes? What are you aiming for? And then you can determine, is this a team that needs to run every fortnight and actually needs that hour to be counted? Or is this something that you can run a different way? Is it once a term? Is it once every 4 weeks? What is the structural changes that need to happen then? But are we catering for 6 people and the other 94 aren't affected by this decision? But the entire structure changes, which does affect them. So when we're in leadership, we've just got to remember that the problem that we are presented with might not be the actual problem that we need to solve, because there is multi-layered approaches to that problem solving and strategic leadership. But as the senior leader, your skill set is being able to look at the problem from all different angles, contextual, organizational, relational, all these different things to actually align what is the actual thing we're solving here. So now we can go back to our executive team, show them that this information's here, show them because they came up with 3 different offers of changing the entire structure of our school and our organization. And that's huge. So now we can give them this information, and then we can reevaluate. Then we can go through new things that we need to consider. Then we can actually look at what problem do we really need to spend our time and energy to solve. So just a really good lesson, but the really cool thing, I used AI to help me in that process because it would have taken me ages. It would have taken me ages to collate my lists, review who's in what, how many times does that list get sort of doubled up, how many people repeat, and that kind of information I got really easily crunched. Super quick. Simple prompt using Claude AI, which is my go-to at the moment. So just some real relevant strategic sort of leadership and to my context, and I thought I would share that because it might help others. So this is found it helpful. If you want any help with it, let me know. Happy to go through the prompting structure I would use to collate that information and that data to make the right decisions. But it comes from the repetition of skill, is the ability to strategically lead and look at what is the real problem here. And that's a question you can ask at all different levels. So no matter what problem you're solving, you can always ask the question, what is the real problem for you? And just try to literally dive into the actual problem that needs to spend all your energy and effort into. Because there's that saying, spend 5% on the problem, 95% on the solution, but just make sure you're working on the right problem to begin with. Have a great day. Don't forget to like and follow for more.